Hi, thank you for clicking this video. This video is going to be in two parts, and it is my first few days on Concerta. I've been diagnosed with ADHD since 2016. I was in college and I decided to go see a doctor because everything was really hard, really difficult, really stressed out, and I was having panic attacks and anxiety attacks and also not as successful in school as I felt like I could be. A lot of things came with that, feeling like I'm stupid and kind of like a sense of inferiority when I'm comparing myself to, the speed at which other people get things done. But once I got that diagnosis, it was kind of like a weight was lifted off my shoulder. At the time, I felt like I could cope and like I could do without medication. I was also afraid of taking medication back then, so I didn't. And this year kind of changed that. Actually, it completely changed it. I decided to go see a doctor about getting prescribed a medication to help me with my ADHD because I could no longer cope. I've been working remotely since the pandemic, and working from home has been, and it was a lot harder for me to focus with so many distractions just here at home. And the amount of stress and frustration that I was having and all the forgetfulness with little small things, I just decided to go see a doctor and start medication. So that's where the video will pick up. The video is in two parts. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Maybe talk about some of your experiences with taking a medication or what medications you're taking. And if you have ADHD or suspect that you have ADHD, ADHD tends to go undiagnosed in girls or women. It's a mental disorder that's usually diagnosed in boys most of the time because the hyperactive part is more noticeable in them at times. So actually a lot of women don't realize they have it until they get to college and things get really difficult for them. And so a lot of women end up being diagnosed later on in life. The doctor I recently saw also suspects that I have a learning disability specific to math. I'll get more in depth in that in another video. I recently just took the test to test me for a learning disability a few days ago, and so I'll be posting that video probably sometime next week when I get the results. In no way am I, so this is my own experience. This is just what I've learned from my own journey, and the medication, my observations on how the medication affected me is just based on myself. You would have to talk to your doctor or whatever about what medication is going to work best for you. So far, this is working all right for me.
It's a little bit after 7:30 and I woke up and took one Concerta. This is my first time taking pills and already it's turning up my stomach. I'm gonna go try and eat something, but it's making me nauseous. It's Wednesday and they're gonna be mowing the lawn all day. So I'm gonna try and eat before I had the weirdest dreams last night. The weirdest dreams. I'm gonna try and eat before this stuff starts taking effect. Chill out, Pepper. This stuff is making me nauseous already. It's 8:17. My guy's still mowing the lawn. It's 8:17. I took it, I think, at 7:33. And the nausea kind of went away. But I've only managed to eat most of my piece of bread, and now I'm not really hungry. But I'm gonna try and finish the rest of my yogurt. Let it get a little bit room temperature. I don't like eating cold things. It has pieces of fruit in it, and I don't want pieces of cold fruit on my teeth. This is so weird, man. But yeah, the camera is shaking. I don't know if you can tell, but my hands are shaking a little bit. And that lawnmower in the background, like, oh my God. Okay, so they always mow the lawn here on Wednesdays. They do landscaping, and it's like all day that they're mowing these lawns. And usually I have to leave because I can't even think with the lawnmowers whirring around all day. Even if it's across the neighborhood, I can still hear it. It's just all day. I hate Wednesdays just because they're mowing the lawn all day. And now it's not bothering me that much. Like, it's weird. Like, I know they're mowing the lawn. I hear it. But it's not stopping my life. It's so weird. It's 8:35. I'm about to take my shower. I can start working by 9. The fact that I'm keeping track of the time. Okay, so I'm still trying to eat because I know this thing is gonna take my appetite away. So I'm trying really hard to finish this yogurt. I am freaking out. I was on Zoom with my boyfriend for a little bit, and he went to go do something else. I'm thinking about what work I need to do today for work. And when he left, I didn't start thinking about other things. Like, there's no random songs or TV shows or thoughts in my head. My thoughts are just about what I need to do today. Is this what other people, is this? And we were talking about something for work, and he asked me a question. I just spouted off a bunch of information like I knew it. I am very motivated to get into my planner for work and work. Like, he stopped paying me attention and I didn't immediately start doing random stuff. And little sounds are not fazing me. Like, the wind blows and I have this screen that comes down on the patio and it knocks against the wall all the time. That's happening, but it's not stopping my life. Pepper's breathing hard, and usually that would distract me. And it's just in the background. Like, all the little noises are not throwing me completely off. Or like, and I'm sitting in front of the window, so like, if the wind blows and blows a tree branch in a certain direction or a bird flies by, immediately I'm like, I haven't even, like, I'm like, oh, outside is pretty, but I'm still over here. Is this what I'm supposed to be like? Side note, I feel like I can do stuff and get it done like fast. Like, not like me running around trying to do a million things at once, but like, I'm gonna do this one thing and I'm gonna get that one thing done. Then I'm gonna do another thing. So, later on, I'm gonna get my boyfriend on here so he can talk about any differences he sees that I'm not seeing. But I have started, working. I've been working, and I'm also Zooming with him while I'm working. And, when stuff happens or when he's talking to me, I can still do what I'm doing. Like, usually, if I'm focused on something, I have to try really hard to stay focused. And so if somebody interrupts me, it just throws me completely off. And what I've realized about myself, like what I've started doing to cope with that, because it comes off as rude if I'm doing something and I don't, I'm ignoring people while they're talking to me. Sometimes I miss them talking, I don't hear what they say, so I got to try and listen again. But what I've started doing past couple of years is I will stop what I'm doing. So if I'm watching a video, I'll pause the video. If I'm writing something down, I'll stop that. If I'm working on something, I'll stop that. And then I'll have to look directly at the person and give them all my attention so I can digest whatever it is they're saying. Because sometimes, even if I'm looking at somebody and they'll be talking and then they start talking for too long or they're talking too slow, I just start not hearing them. So yeah, my point is I can do both. Like I can hear him talk and I can do what I'm working on without it throwing me off. Like even if he distracts me for a little bit, it doesn't take me too long to refocus and get back where I was. Like I'm not completely lost like I usually am and start doing something completely different than I was doing. And also, like, I was telling my mom my concept of time and idea of priority is like all of a sudden here. Like I've been checking the time consistently, looking at the time. I'm aware of like how much time is passing versus before where I'll be doing something and I'll get distracted and then I'll look at the time, all of a sudden it's like 30 to 45 minutes later and I've done nothing. And yeah, so that's usually what happens. And in my brain, I've organized, like what? In my brain, I've organized? But I'm working on a weekly report that I want to send, within the next 15 minutes. And then I know that I'm going to work on this next. And then I know I'm going to work on this next. And I'm deciding how much time each thing should take me and when I should be done with those things. So by the end of the day, I'm not stressed out and overwhelmed and my time is my time, which is crazy because usually I feel overwhelmed because I have all these things to do and it all compacts and hits me at one time. And so I never feel like I'm getting anything done because I keep switching back and forth between so many things. Even now, I feel like I'm calmer. Like I feel like I sound calmer, like I'm talking calmer, my thoughts are clearer. I'm not as like jumpy, like jumping around between different thoughts and different ideas because it's all there. I didn't know I could remember stuff. What even is this? Is this just what everybody's walking around doing all the time? Just always? Is this what y'all do? No one told me? This is how it is? I've been thinking about like being in school. Could have had better grades. I'm not mad at anybody. Like I'm not upset with anyone for not catching it. Shoot, I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it until college when, someone who's smart, teachers, professors telling me that I'm smart and I'm like failing things. But I didn't know I had it until college, but just thinking about, where I could have been, had this been recognized earlier, or had I known earlier, at least gotten the extra help and stuff that I might have needed before. It's frustrating, but I'm okay with it because I've excelled in other areas. And now I have an opportunity. Like I literally have one class that's stopping me from graduate college. And it's a math class, which I've always thought, oh, I'm just bad at math. I've been bad at math my entire life. And I've always needed the extra classes or the extra help. But I got to college and it seems like I could never pass any math classes I took. And I've taken math like 4 or 5 times. I've repeated same classes over and over and I'm still failing the classes. And I know I'm not stupid, and I've tried hard. So don't nobody tell me that I ain't tried. I tried hard. I tried so hard the last time I took a math class, which was last year, that it was giving me anxiety attacks before and after class, panic attacks before tests. I would break down in the middle of doing homework. I was going to every tutoring after class, before class, seeing the professor before and after class, trying to get extra help on everything, taking extra time with the tests. Like, I tried so hard that I feel like it made me sick. Like, I was staying up all night to study. Don't tell me nothing about, oh, well, you didn't study the right way. I tried every way to study. I tried it all, and I still failed. Like, as hard as I was trying, I could have at least made like a D or a C. No. It was taking me hours just to do homework. And I would dread doing it because it would take me forever to do one problem. So, after talking to my, psychologist? Whatever brain doctor can prescribe you medicine. After talking to her about college and school and specifically math class, she actually thinks that I may have a learning disability. And I was like, oh snap, that might explain it. So I'm supposed to be getting tested for a math-specific learning disability called dyscalculia. And after doing some research on it and seeing how it especially, manifests itself in children, but manifests itself in adults, I'm like, oh, sounds pretty familiar. So, yeah, I'm supposed to be getting tested for that soon. I'm just waiting on the call from this neurology specialist or something in Mount Pleasant to get tested for dyscalculia. And if it turns out I have it, which the chances are very high that I do have it, I can take that to the school and be like, yeah, I actually have a learning disability, and get, extra accommodations based off the evaluation that I get. I can get accommodations specific to my level of learning disability or whatever. So I'm excited about that because I can finally get my degree, and it also means that I'm not lazy and I'm just not trying hard enough. That's double negative. It's not that I'm not trying hard enough. It's that my brain is not, it just works differently, and I need extra help or different accommodations. It might be less homework. It might be, smaller sections of lessons, depending on whatever it is. It's not that I'm stupid. And because of my ADHD and potential learning disability that's math specific, I've felt like I'm stupid. I was stupid, especially in college. I felt like an idiot, and I was just dumb and a failure. And it's really cool to know that that's not true, and that it's not my fault, and a lot of these things I can't help. My breaking point for me going to the doctor recently and getting medicated for ADHD was because ever since Corona, we've moved to working at home, and me staying in one place, being in one place every day, all day, just to be honest, like, my work has suffered. I mean, it was already difficult for me beforehand working in the office, because I'm used to more hands-on jobs, or jobs that allow me to be creative versus, more structural. But it intensified once the pandemic hit, and I was at home most of the time. Not to say that I don't do good work when I can make myself sit down and focus. I do good work, but I just don't think my productivity is at the level, like, it could be better. But I was trying hard. That's the thing. I was trying hard. And so it was causing me a lot of anxiety. I was having like breakdowns, and I had my most recent breakdown a few weeks ago before I scheduled. Actually, it was like last year, December, which was not too long ago. I had a breakdown after a meeting with my boss, and I was like, I just, I need help. Like, I need to figure this out because this isn't working. I can't be a functioning adult with this, like whatever's wrong with me. And I called my mom, and she was like, well, let's go ahead and get you seen. And I was diagnosed with ADHD in college because I was having breakdowns and panic attacks because of school was stressing me out. And my mom had suspected, but she wasn't really sure. And apparently my dad had it when he was, well, he still has it obviously, but because it never goes away, but he was treated for it when he was in elementary school or something like that. And I went in college, I think my sophomore year, and I got tested, and I nearly fell asleep on the test. And after I got my results, which was basically, yeah, you're on the spectrum for ADHD, you have it, and you can take medication for it if you like. And they offered me medication. I declined. I didn't want to take medication at the time. I was like, oh, I can handle this. I know what it is now. Now that I know what it is, I can figure it out. Yeah, I was wrong. I've tried everything: yoga, meditation, working out, eating healthy, vitamins. The thing about it is, I start that stuff. I've even making lists everywhere, sticky notes everywhere, sticky notes. I used to have to, when I was driving to work, I used to have to put sticky notes. And I remember the stream of conversation I was on before I went off on this tangent. But anyway, that's crazy, right? I would have to put sticky notes on the door leading out of my apartment to remember to grab my lunch or remember that I got all my stuff. Like, I have to put reminders for myself everywhere. And even throughout my life, I've had people, like, I guess, accountability people who would be my memory for me, my mom. And then when I moved out, it was my roommate. And I know, oh, everybody forgets something, but it would be like I would forget something every day. Like, it would be like I didn't walk out. Every time I walked out the door, I left something important, like my car keys or my fob to get back on the hall or whatever. Like, I still forget my car keys. I'll walk out the house, forget my keys to get back in the house. This happened several times. And I know people say, which actually gets on my nerves, like, oh, everybody forgets stuff. But is it to the point where it actually affects your quality of life? Because that's pretty much where I was at. I know everyone's like, oh, I have anxiety, I have panic attacks. I don't really talk about that stuff, but I really have that stuff. I've been having panic attacks since middle school. And that's like a derivative of having ADHD because you always feel overwhelmed. You always feel overwhelmed and anxious and out of control of things. But back to my point, which I've gone further. I just kind of want to give some background. So this is really different. Like, even now, me talking calm like this is really different for me. And it's also like, I'm kind of excited. I don't know, like, it was only the first day. I know I've heard a lot of things about this specific drug that I'm on having a really bad crash. But yeah, this is cool, and this is way different than it's been before. I'm trying not to cry because, it wasn't my fault. I've been trying. And it was literally something I couldn't help. Like, I've been called lazy. I'm just not trying hard enough. You just need to make lists. I make lists. I forget to bring the list. Don't tell me to make it in my phone. I forget to look at the list on my phone. I forget I have the list. You know, I did that yesterday. I made a whole list, went to the store, forgot like the main things I went to the store from. And I know, oh, everybody does it. How many of y'all do it every time you go to the store? I've been so frustrated with myself and I've beat myself up so bad. And like, I understand, oh, ADHD, you know, well, being disorganized is not an excuse, or not being able, it's not an excuse. It actually is. Like, I know everybody was walking around just, I used to look at some of my friends and try to figure out how are they so good at school? I know I'm not stupid. I try to adopt like some of the stuff they do. Even trying different organization techniques can get overwhelming for me because I'm trying to remember to do all of those things that remind me to do the things I need to do. Alright, so me and my boyfriend were Zoom-in, and I asked him if there's anything different, and he said I'm not as bubbly as I usually am, which I can kind of tell. I don't feel like a robot, but I don't feel excited as I usually am, and this is something that would really get me like super excited. But he said, like, you usually like will look outside and be like, oh, it's such a beautiful day, I want to go on a picnic and look at the sun, and I haven't done that today. That's weird. I asked him if he still loves me. He said he does. But I think like maybe it's not like that, because usually I feel like I'm getting like a sensory overload. Like I'm hearing and seeing everything all the time, and it distracts me so quickly that, you know, I'm like in my brain, like it's always like that's why I'm always talking fast and I'm so excited all the time, because it's doing this like all the time in my head, like fireworks. I told my mom, I texted her, she laughed. I texted her, there's no random songs playing in my head. Like I called her and I was like, Mommy, Rashad had to go do something and I just kept eating my yogurt. Like, I didn't start having any random thoughts. No shows started playing in my head, no songs, no random thoughts. And I was like, is this how it is for people? And my mom was like, well, usually I'm thinking about what I have to do for the day. And I was like, that's what I'm thinking about too. I'm thinking about what I have to do.
Oh, I don't want that. Not for me, at least.
I mean, like,
if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. This is a personal experience that, you know, I'm sharing, and I appreciate you for sticking around this long. Stay tuned for part 2. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.